Hi, Laura. There's a couple of different ways you can determine the exact values if you don't want to use the radians and the trigonometric curves. What you can do is just go back to your right angle triangles. I always remember when I'm constructing these triangles that sine 30 is a half, and by Pythagoras' theorem, the other one is root 3. And over here, I've got the 45-degree triangle. You need to remember that pi radians is equal to 180 degrees. So when I'm finding sine of pi on 6, that's sine of 180 divided by 6, 30. So it's the sine of 30 degrees. So I can just go straight to my triangle. Sine 30 equals a half. So when I'm getting the exact value, that's just a half. So I can do it that way. Same for sine pi on 3. 180 divided by 3 is 60, so I go to my 60. Sine is the opposite over the hypotenuse, so I've got root 3 over 2. Now, for sine pi on 2, I'll just go straight to the sine curve. So that's sine of 90 degrees, and we can find that that is just 1. Or I will show you another method now, just using your calculator. You need to be careful if you're going to use this method. If there's negative signs and the angle's in a different quadrant when you square your answer, but I'll show you this method now. So say if I wanted to find the cos of pi on 6, I can just go directly to my calculator, cos of 30 degrees, and I've got a decimal there, and the question actually wants an exact answer. So that decimal's no good to me, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to square that answer, and I get 3 on 4. Because I've squared it, I know I need to take the square root, so it's going to be the square root of 3 and the square root of 4. Now the square root of 3 is just root 3, and the square root of 4 is 2. So I can say that the cos of pi on 6 is just root 3 on 2. Need to be careful if you're going to use this method. I can do the same thing for that any of the previous questions. Say for question 3, I want to find the sine of pi on 2. Pi on 2 is just 90 degrees, so sine of 90 equals 1. Question 5, if I want to find tan of pi on 3, I could go back to my triangle, or I can say it's just the tan of 60 degrees, because 180 divided by 3. So tan of 60 equals this. Again, I get a decimal answer. If I square this, I get the answer 3. But I know I've got to take the square root. So if I use my triangle, I'll get root 3 on 1, which is just root 3. Please contact me if you've got further questions.